Those Fantasy Dudes podcast with your hosts, Jonathan and Jake.
All right, Jake. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Those Fantasy Dudes podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan, joined once again by you, Jake, over there yawning. He's already exhausted and tired of talking to me. I do have to cut out a lot of yawns, by the way.
I believe it. I'm a pretty yawny guy.
I mean, I do yawn, but you're a big guy, you know.
It
takes a lot of
yawner.
energy to sit here and talk to my ass, so I can understand why you would be falling asleep.
It's also the end of the day, and, you know.
It's 4:48. It's not even time for Jeopardy yet. Not even close, actually.
Look, I started my day at 6:30 today.
All right, that's fair. I got up at 11:30, and I'm.
You're able to get up at 11:30. Your life is able to revolve around you getting up at 11:30 in the afternoon.
I've worked hard to get to where I am, Jake. Respect me.
We've made the same path. I know exactly how hard you've worked.
Well, I have 1 year on you, so maybe I've worked a tad harder.
Okay. All right, Jonathan.
Anyways, this is the show where we talk about NFL news, injury updates, talk about our various leagues, keeper, redraft, dynasty, and we answer some of your questions. Thank you guys for sending them in. I've actually gotten quite a few over the last few weeks from a bunch of people, so that's awesome.
We got a good one directly in our league chat.
Yeah, I
don't know if you
saw
that.
It is on the list. I added it to the list. Can't wait to discuss. Thank you, Truman. But yeah, basically we just do this to have a reason to talk about fantasy football, and at this point, with it really getting close to playoffs, I just want to talk a lot of shit about Jake and probably Tyler this week. So that's where we're at.
Ooh, man. Yeah, if you're listening, fuck you, Tyler.
Yeah. How do you like that, Tyler?
Wait, that sounded really hate-filled. I meant that to just be intense. I didn't mean that
fuck
to be...
your fantasy football team, but you as a person are a magnificent human being.
As a person, A+ on Tyler.
Yes, Tyler's great. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook at Those Fantasy Dudes, and Twitter at Fantasy Dudes Pod. Fantasy Dudes Pod is where you can follow us on Twitter. Thanks, Tyler, for being our only follower.
Yeah.
But if you did want to follow us on Twitter, you can do that. ThoseFantasyDudesPodcast.com. You can send us questions there, or most of them have come in through the IG story. I think that's probably the best way to get them. I usually check it right before we record and then throw them on our Google Doc. So it's a good way to do it. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, CastBox, Reasons, Radio Public, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and Anchor, our host platform. And if you want, you can support the show. Go to anchor.fm/ThoseFantasyDudes. Give us money.
$1,500 is the minimum donation.
Yes, that's where it starts. It didn't give me any other options, so
that's it. So just please, guys, just look. If six of you guys could just give us $1,500,
that is a lot. I mean,
It's only 6 people. I don't understand what the big deal is.
All right, Jake, should we get into the NFL news and injury updates?
Let's get into the NFL news and injury updates.
NFL news and injury updates.
All right, tad bit of news this week. Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick both received contract extensions with the Broncos. I don't have the details on what Tim Patrick's extension was, but the Broncos gave Courtland Sutton a 4-year, $60.8 million extension that includes $35 million guaranteed money. So they really are sealing up these wide receivers, Jake.
The deal with Courtland Sutton makes a lot of sense to me. He's back. He's healthy. They want him there for a while. They've got Jerry Jeudy on his rookie contract still. Tim Patrick's looks like a three-year, $30 million deal.
Okay.
With $18 million guaranteed. That's pretty solid. I think it makes sense to them.
And I think it does make sense. They're all very talented. It's just,
Tim Patrick's a solid 3.
Yeah, and I think even on some weeks he's may as well be the one, just based on targets.
I think that
comes
down more. I think that unfortunately comes down more to quarterback play this season. I don't really think that it's necessarily that. I do think Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy are more talented than Tim Patrick.
Right, and maybe Tim Patrick is getting that production just because maybe it's based on the defenses they're going against, where Jerry Jeudy and Sutton are a little more tied up. But
I don't think that they have a stud quarterback that you have to worry about. So I don't know. I think they're shutting down the first or second option, and then Tim Patrick's able to get open. I think Tim Patrick's good. They need a quarterback there so badly.
It's the one thing that they're really missing. Like, they have an okay defense, and then they have good running backs. Melvin Gordon,
they lost
really
Von Miller
too.
So
well, yeah, which is strange because like they're still technically competing. Like they get rid of Von Miller and then go out and kick the shit out of the Cowboys 2 weeks ago. So
I don't think Von Miller was their only good player. I just think he was their biggest name.
Sure.
Yeah. Right.
You can have stars on your team and still get the shit kicked out of you. Like, we'll see what happens with the Rams this week with those 3 major stars on their defense, but I still feel like a lot of points are going to be put up regardless.
Very much so.
Taysom Hill. This is an interesting signing, but signed a 4-year contract with $40 million guaranteed, but up to 95. I'm sorry. It's a contract extension that could be worth anywhere between $40 million and $95 million, depending on the position he plays, which is interesting.
I mean, I guess there just hasn't been very many dual position type of contracts.
Yeah, it's definitely something different and something they had to structure based on what he ends up doing for the team because they don't know. I mean, with Jameis out, Simeon might not be there. Taysom's had a pretty bad concussion this year, so it's not really like guaranteed if he's even going to get starts down the road. It makes sense, but I mean, for fantasy, if he ends up starting, he's obviously a great asset.
Yeah, I just think, unfortunately, until you get the green light that he is the guy long term, you can't really start him.
No, you can't.
So
but if he ever does, if Jameis goes somewhere else, which, I mean, who knows? Anything could happen in the NFL. Shit changes week to week. But Taysom he showed it last year, was a good fantasy option when he did get the start. Andy Dalton is expected to start on Thursday. Actually, he is going to start because Justin Fields is officially out on Thursday against the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day. So Andy Dalton gets to start once again. He looked okay last week, dude.
Did he? I mean, he came back, but hasn't Andy Dalton always been a regular season guy? Isn't where Andy Dalton
well, I don't think he's ever won a playoff game.
Shines,
so I would say, yeah, probably.
Or the opposite of shines is kind of playoffs, isn't it? Doesn't he just suck?
He hasn't done anything in the playoffs. He's never won a playoff game. So
yes.
mean, I don't know. He's always had a good arm. Like, he can throw the ball. Like, he was a fantasy asset when he was on the Bengals. I mean, he was able
I don't think he's if you're in God, I hope you don't have to start Andy Dalton this week, but not the worst start you could have, I guess. I would just way rather start Cam Newton.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, he's not going to have Allen Robinson, not that that's really mattered. Darnell Mooney should play this week, so he seems to have some good rapport with him. Darnell Mooney, I think, scored twice last week. Who knows? He's got Detroit, so, I mean, if you look at it that way, that's probably the best matchup he could get for starting. So,
yeah, that's true. It's a good, it's a good matchup at least.
Phillip Lindsay was cut by the Texans, and as of like an hour ago, the Dolphins have claimed him off waivers.
That's crazy that he was, dude. I feel like Phillip Lindsay deserved a lot better.
He's kind of gotten the short end of the stick.
But why though? Because every time I've seen him on the field, he looks good.
Maybe it's his haircut.
Who knows?
I'm gonna blame the haircut because he's got like kind of that TikTok boy haircut going on.
Real like Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah, it's kind of Jackson Mahomes. I was on Instagram last night, and Jackson Mahomes went live, and I would almost do anything else with my life than click on that and watch a live video of Jackson Mahomes.
That's what I don't understand. Like, who cares?
Right. Like, what do you think he was doing at 1 a.m.?
Like, I'm a really
Tuesday
big Lamar
night.
fan, and like I still don't even tune in for Lamar's live streams almost all of the time. Like, so once in a while, if I'm just chilling,
clicks on Jackson Mahomes' live stream.
I think the worst is probably his wife.
I don't think she's as bad, dude.
I don't think she's as bad. But if you're like just what's her name, Brittany, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brittany Mahomes stan.
Brittany Matthews.
Is it Brittany?
I don't even think she took his last name, or maybe she.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that's a red flag, huh? Right?
I don't know. If I was going to the NFL, I would definitely be like, "You're taking my name, or we're not getting married."
Not only does he sound like a frog, but his brother's shit and his wife's annoying. So hopefully his kid turns out okay.
Dude, I love those videos of them dancing at the restaurant while Mahomes looks like he's about to die.
Oh my God, the poor guy. We were talking about Phillip. I don't know how okay. The Cardinals have signed QB Trace McSorley off the Ravens practice squad, and the Ravens have replaced McSorley by signing QB Kenji Bahar. Does that mean anything to you, or can we just move on?
What?
I don't know.
Kenji Bahar. Dude, I haven't heard that name until right now.
I don't know who that is. It might be a fake person. It might not be a real person.
It does sound like a made up name.
Yeah, I think I just was like typing on my keyboard, not looking at it, and that's what came up. Okay,
That dude is a top tier athlete.
He's probably the next Taylor Heineke.
I mean, he's a backup quarterback in the NFL, and I guarantee he could beat the brakes off of us in any of our chosen physical competitions.
You think like backyard football, like me and you couldn't take him 2v1? 2v1.
I think 2v1 we could beat him in a death match just because we have two people, but I think any chosen physical competition, Mr. Kenji Bahar would beat the fucking brakes off of us.
I gotta look at picture. I'm gonna look at a picture of this guy.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, this dude could kick the shit out of us for sure.
Yeah, he has a lot of muscle tone, and I have yet to get any of mine back since college. So I'll give
that's the
give
problem.
it to him. Okay,
That's the problem.
right. Yeah. The Giants have fired offensive coordinator Jason Garrett. What do you think about that, Jake?
That's
Jason Garrett
good
fired.
to know.
Yeah, he sucks. Terrible coach. Overstayed his welcome in Dallas, and I think didn't you send a stat last night where he did not lead the Giants to a single game of 30-plus points?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they didn't score 30 points once under Jason Garrett.
That's
not one time.
astonishing. That's crazy. Wow. Matt Nagy. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting because I would love if he got fired. But Matt Nagy has denied a report that said he had been informed he would be fired after Thursday's game against Detroit. He said, "quote that is not accurate." So, what do you think, Jake? Is he getting fired?
For fantasy football, I hope yes.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. I
He
mean, I don't think
sucks as
he's
a
quite Adam
quarterback-
Gase level, but
As a coach, yeah.
he's pretty bad.
As a coach for fantasy football, it's just like you can never know what the fuck he's gonna do.
It's horrible.
It's bad.
I mean,
He's not I don't know if he's a good NFL coach. Don't know enough to say so, but he's a bad fantasy coach.
The only decision I appreciate is the fact that he did let Justin Fields start even when Andy Dalton was fully healthy. But it was just annoying in the offseason when he was like, oh no, there's no fucking way Justin Fields is starting this entire season. Andy Dalton is our guy. It's not happening. Like at least give Justin Fields some hope, even if it was that just like a media strategy to make us think that he wasn't going to start. I don't know. It was annoying though. Stupid. Adrian Peterson has been released by the Titans. Dontrell Hillard takes his spot in the active roster.
I don't know why everyone was trying to pick him up.
Dontrell Hilliard?
Yeah, he's a practice squad RB who's being signed behind other people.
Yeah, I don't care. I
don't care.
No.
I guess I could be wrong, but
Foreman was the guy, I think. That's
Foreman, yeah.
Donta Foreman. He's the only dude that I would consider even having on my bench at this point from the Titans. So,
whoa, I didn't know this next one.
Oh, yeah. So the Jets have placed both Joe Flacco and Mike White on the COVID reserve list. This means that Zach Wilson will make his return this week against Houston, what a matchup. Houston and the Jets. I am going to be tuning in for that one. Jake, you?
Man, I was just really hoping Joe Flacco would start. I need Elijah Moore to have a big game.
Well, Zach Wilson could probably deliver that, don't you think? You love him.
I do love Zach Wilson.
I hope so, because Elijah Moore's been just dominant lately. I mean, he's almost made Corey Davis a drop candidate. Like, I eat my words on Elijah Moore not being competent this season. I really do.
Yeah, I didn't think he would be startable this season, but he's really shown up when I needed him. 27 points last week.
If he's on your waivers, he's probably not on your waivers in a 12-man.
There's no way he's on your waiver. Well,
he could be in a 10-man because I'm in 10-man and he is, and I picked him up today. So even after waivers pass, so I do think he is worth picking up if you need a wide receiver start. Okay, so Jake, we did have a few season-ending injuries this week. The first being Jamal Agnew of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's out for the season.
That's unfortunate. He had that huge return this season. One of the only 106-yard returns.
Did I? Oh yeah, that was like 1 week against I don't even know, but it was an insane play.
Yeah, they went to kick a 65-yard field goal and he nabbed it out of the end zone.
Oh, because it was against the Cardinals. It was Matt Prater. I was like, oh my god, Matt Prater's gonna kick a freaking 65-yarder.
Does that mean Matt Prater kicked an interception?
Yeah, kind of.
I feel like he should lose points.
Well, I don't know if he did. I don't know if that's even a thing that you can change in the settings of
Well,
as a commissioner. But
maybe if it was Justin Tucker, wouldn't have been
I mean,
a problem.
honestly, though, like the chances of that happening are so low that it should be in the settings.
Should.
But it's also a coaching decision, so Cliff Kingsbury should get a deduction in points.
Yeah, negative
fucking
points for
shit.
Cliff Kingsbury. Sorry if you started Cliff Kingsbury, guys.
Yep. I think there is some leagues where you can start coaches, and I don't know how the points are
How
determined.
the
but
hell do you score points for a coach?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But Marcus Johnson of the Titans, which is their, I don't know, 4th best wide receiver. This is his 2nd stint on IR, which I didn't know this was a thing, but if you go to the IR twice in a season, you're done. You can't come back.
What? Well, then,
So
what?
yeah, that's a thing.
I guess that's good to know, because that does kind of explain why some guys might not go to the IR.
Like Antonio Brown has been stuck on just questionable since week 6. It's week 13 or week 12 now, and they haven't sent him to the IR. All right, Jake, Justin Fields, obviously he's out this week. We already talked about it, but the bruised ribs. It's nothing serious, though. He should be back for week 13, but yeah, he is out this week with Andy Dalton starting. So
Yep.
Lamar Jackson, he was sick, but he was seen at practice today, so he should be fine.
Jackson plays. I'm
Yep.
pretty confident he'll play. I thought he would play last week, but man, I don't know if you saw that video of him walking into the stadium, but that is the sickest looking person you have ever seen.
Oh, really? So he did look very ill?
He looked very sick. It was clear that it wasn't COVID because he was walking around without a mask and stuff, but
Well, dude, you remember
Yeah.
last season when he like had to go leave to take a shit
bro,
during the game?
it's because he eats like shit.
Does he?
Yes.
I don't know about that. Okay.
It's like well known he eats like shit.
Okay, so he has a horrible immune system and just eats like Arby's every night?
Everybody keeps referencing it as shrimp Alfredo from the gas station.
Oh my god.
I don't think
mean,
it's actually shrimp Alfredo from the gas station, but
he might just be getting bad sushi from like Wawa's in Baltimore. Who knows, dude? This
saying.
needs to stop happening, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, he needs to stop fucking getting
we're
sick.
gonna feel really bad if we find out he has like a GI problem or something.
Yeah, hopefully he's not like a Chadwick Boseman and he's actually battling like fucking cancer, because that would be devastating.
I could talk for like a half hour about how great Lamar is.
I'd rather not. Let's talk about Jared Goff instead, Jake. Goff said he would consider himself a game-time decision for Week 12 against the Bears. Dan Campbell, I don't know why I wrote Dan Arnold, said things are leaning toward Goff starting, but the QB himself seemed less
Dan Arnold's doing a post game, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, just want to let you guys know, Goff's leaning towards starting this week. He's not very confident about it, but he should start."
It's like, Dan, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, I don't know. I just love Jared Goff. Okay, you have a problem, sir. But yeah, with Jared Goff probably not starting, Tim Boyle, Jake.
Somebody said Tim Boyle looks like the old quarterback that gets replaced in a football movie. You got to look him up. He really just does look like.
All right, so my last Google search was Kenji Bahar. Now it's Tim Boyle.
Two very irrelevant quarterbacks.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
You can see it, right?
yeah. He looks like an older version of Ryan Gosling from Remember the Titans.
Yeah, kind of. Like more of a
Yeah.
shitty guy, though.
Yeah, he looks like he would like punch a child at a gas station.
Okay. I don't know if I would claim that Tim Boyle would punch a child at a gas station, but I get what you're going for.
Like, I'm sure there's
Very-
a reason
very
for it. He
child
wouldn't just,
punching
he wouldn't
energy.
just
Is that the deal?
punch him for no reason, but like, say he like runs the gas station, the kid tries to steal like a Snickers bar, he probably would punch that kid.
Was Tim Boyle committing a citizen's arrest on a 6-year-old for stealing a candy bar?
Maybe. That's just my
speaking
first
of-
impression of this man, and I
just had to go to the grocery store right before Thanksgiving. Nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
I was at Publix today. All I had to do was buy fruit, and I hated every minute of it.
Dude, I had to buy like 6 things. It took me like 45 minutes.
Was most of that waiting in line, or just like avoiding people in the aisles?
Trying to move around people, and then it was, oh my god. This one dude like walked by something he needed, then stopped short in front of me kind of. And he's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I was like, dude, everyone is in everyone's way. You cannot possibly have to apologize for that.
Especially you who takes up most of the aisle. Like they're
dude,
lucky
I feel
you're a
so
nice guy.
self-conscious in there too. Because I'm always in people's I'm always in people's space. I love going to the grocery store right before it closes.
No, you should always go when it's busy. Just own it. Be like, this is my grocery store. I am
start
Hannaford.
Kicking stuff off the shelves.
Yeah. Michael Carter, Jake. Aw, your guy, Michael Carter.
He's not even my guy. I don't even have him anywhere.
You love him. Suffered a low-grade high ankle sprain that is expected to silence him for 2 to 3 weeks. So you got guys like Tevin Coleman, Ty Johnson on the roster if you want to start one of those.
Ty
guys.
Johnson would be my start of the two.
He
showed up before. I mean, I don't want to start either of them, don't get me wrong, but Ty Johnson would be my start of the two.
Again, if you have to start one of them, fortunately they are going against Houston, but you saw how they played against the Titans last week. I mean,
yeah, it's not great. Again,
so
neither is my preferable choice.
I do feel bad for Michael Carter, though, because he was really starting to hone in on his skill set, and they were giving him opportunities.
He'll be dude next year. Oh, man. Hoping good things for him. I think he's a sleeper next year in the draft.
He's still going to go late.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think he'll go late because, I mean, if he doesn't come back from this by the end of the season, or if he just comes back and putters out and then the playoffs start, people are going to forget. And he had some dominant weeks. He's good. Like, talent-wise, good. So,
wow. Breaking news. A trade just went through in our league. J.K. Dobbins for a 2022 first-round pick between Logan and Tyler.
What? That's all I would have given Tyler that weeks ago. That's all?
Damn, Logan. Oh, man. Does that mean I need to trade him Gus Edwards for something?
Maybe.
I might need to do that, but before the night's over. These guys have really been going for the trades. It's hard for me to come up with something that seems reasonable because I'm in contention, but I love to see the league doing this.
I think Tyler got robbed on that one, dude. Because I would say he didn't if he traded it for something that, like, if he packaged J.K. Dobbins with something else to get McCaffrey, I would say, oh, that makes sense. Like,
it is a missed opportunity that no one's really tried to snag McCaffrey, but Logan's going to ask for too much. Jordan Howard expected to miss week 12. Doesn't really matter, who fucking cares, but Miles Sanders has seen an increase in volume since his return, and I do think that if Miles does continue to see the volume and workload, he could really be a league winner this year. Miles Sanders,
man, I want him to not be because I think Miles Sanders is bad.
I also kind of think he's bad, and I hate the fact that I do have him on a team, and I might be tempted to start him one week. So,
oh boy, Jonathan.
You know what's better though is the fact that if he does do good, somebody else doesn't have him, so I have him, even if I don't want to start him. Aaron Jones returned to a light practice on Wednesday after suffering a minor MCL sprain in Week 10. He could play this week against the Rams, but I honestly
would have to imagine they don't play him against the Rams. I mean, of all teams,
right?
Do you really want Aaron Donald hammering down on your guy right when he comes back from an MCL sprain?
No, I would rather A.J. Dillon with the quads go against Aaron Donald. Especially,
I think A.J. Dillon could squat Aaron Donald.
You think he could? How much does Aaron Donald weigh? Like,
he's got to be like a 300.
No way.
You'd be shocked. You'd be surprised. He's a big dude.
He's cut though. Like he's pretty cut.
Fat or muscle weighs more than fat.
All right, Aaron Donald is 284 pounds.
I told you, dude. He's only 6'1". He's 6'1" and 200.
Oh my god, bro.
John, I'm 289 pounds right now.
That's insane. That's why he's so fucking good.
God, he's big, dude. 6'1" and 280 pounds.
Yeah, he could suffocate a horse to death, I bet. But yeah, I don't think Aaron Jones plays this week. I hope he doesn't. And the Packers do have that Week 13 bye, so I think just keep him out. It's fine if you are an Aaron Jones owner and you don't have AJ Dillon. I am in our league of record. That kind of sucks, but in Dynasty, I do have A.J. Dillon, so I would be fine if Aaron Jones sits. Shanahan said Monday that Elijah Mitchell is considered day-to-day. He was limited in Wednesday's practice. The injury didn't allow him to practice at all last week. He ended up sitting out, so I think he'll play this week against the Vikings. But if not, Jeff Wilson is the guy.
Very disappointing last week, but a ton of work. He still got a lot of utilization.
Yeah, volume's key. Keep that in mind. Alvin Kamara is officially out. Kamara was not at practice today. Ingram was present, but left before the media could see him. So we don't really know from Sean Payton or from Ingram how they feel about his status on Thursday, actually. So it's iffy. I do have both of them in some leagues, so I would like to start Mark Ingram, but I wouldn't feel confident if both of them were out and I had to start Tony Jones. It's not something I want to do.
No.
So.
Nope.
Especially against Buffalo, but granted, Buffalo gave up 5 touchdowns to Jonathan Taylor, so I'm not really that concerned. Cordell Patterson, he obviously didn't play in Thursday night against New England. He did practice today, but I think he's probably going to come back this week. He's playing the Jags. The Falcons do need him.
Did you watch any of the recent Falcons football?
They look terrible.
They look bad.
Yeah, really
like
bad.
Really bad. Not even like competitive NFL team good. So I feel sorry for Kyle Pitts, who's going to have to be there for the rebuild.
As a Kyle Pitts owner, I hope he at least has a good game this week against Jacksonville. If he doesn't, then that's
the nice thing is a pass catching option on a bad team isn't always the worst thing. But
good point. Garbage time. If it's the whole game, I'll take it.
Also, though, if he's their only option, he's getting double teamed everywhere.
Ezekiel Elliott, he did have a little knee tweak during the game on Sunday, but apparently he says it hurts, but he's going to play through it. So as a Cowboy, he will be playing on Thursday against the Raiders because Thursday's Thanksgiving, Jake.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big update, guys. Thursday is Thanksgiving.
It is, which is tomorrow. But if you're listening to this on the day we release it, it is today. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Kareem Hunt, with a calf injury, has not played in the last 5 games, but he is designated to return this week, along with his offensive tackle, Jack Conklin. Stefanski is hopeful he will play in Week 12 against Baltimore. Wide receiver CeeDee Lamb has been looking good. He's made it through most of the concussion protocols. The only one left that he has to make it through is dealing with an outside neurologist that will give him the okay to play in Thursday night's game. So
I was reading something that if he gets another concussion in this game after that by league rules, he's done for the season.
Is that has he gotten more than one this season?
No, I think it's the getting one and then getting another one so quickly.
Okay, well, I guess that could apply to any player, but yeah.
Well, no shit, it can apply to any player, but who has a concussion right now? CeeDee Lamb. That's what we're talking about. It's not CeeDee Lamb specific.
He bumped his little head. I didn't know that, Jake, but yeah, that's concerning. But a lot of players get concussions, and I have
yeah, but not everybody
that.
Turns around and tries to go back and play. I hope that the Cowboys, who are likely to make the playoff regardless of CeeDee Lamb plays this week, make the right decision for not only their players' health, but for also the long-term health of their asset. I don't understand why you would. This is CeeDee Lamb's second year. Don't go out there and give him brain damage.
Well, I do have him in 2 leagues that I am very much in contention for. In both of those leagues, I have Michael Pittman, so I'm not 100% concerned if CD sits out. A.J. Brown. Spotted at Wednesday's practice. Ian Rappaport's he's likely to have avoided serious injury, but further x-rays will be needed. I don't know. A.J. Brown has not been good this year. I know Jake knows that firsthand. He has a 2-9 team that has A.J. Brown on the roster. Sorry, but from your experience...
I hate that I have to keep talking about that fucking league.
It's an every week
thing. In any other context, I would never talk about that league. I would just be like, damn, I can't believe I lost that league. I'm going to focus on these other ones. But
nope, every week you have to talk about it every single time because I'm still
in
contention.
It's like turning the knife, dude. It's like turning the knife every time.
Well, AJ Brown, I don't know if he's going to play this week. There's no concrete information on whether or not he is going to play 100%, but if he does, he's going against the Patriots, who are going to shut him down. So it's a risky start regardless. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Antonio Brown did not practice on Wednesday. It was just a walkthrough, but he still was a non-participant. He hasn't played since week 6. Who knows? I mean, Arians said that Brown is making progress, but it's really hard to say right now. I hope he comes back. I really do need him in my lineup for Dynasty. He was so good, dude. In the first couple weeks, PPR magnet, touchdowns. He's the 3 on that team. Like, Antonio Brown was fucking phenomenal. I really want him back. Desperately.
I really just want him to throw another bike at a security guard shack. So
can't we go 1 week without tarnishing this man? You know, he's worked
Can't
hard.
he go 1 week without doing some wildin' shit?
Probably
He's
not.
right now dealing with accusations that he faked his Vax card.
Oh, yeah, that happened. We didn't talk about that on the show, but if that's true, that's fucking really stupid.
Yep. Anyway.
Why would you do that? I don't... Okay. Calvin Ridley, there's no update, but he can return. He's past the 3-week minimum on the non-football injury lists, but there's no indication he's coming back anytime soon. Cole Beasley, fully ready to go on Thursday. He's no longer on the injury report. Darnell Mooney, limited practice on Tuesday. He should be ready to go.
Oh, Julio Jones.
Yep, he's on the IR. So he apparently aggravated his hamstring even more in the week that he was sitting out. So I'm done with him. I never wanted him in the first place, and I still don't want him for good reason.
I feel very vindicated for having him nowhere.
Yes, I would have to agree with that.
Very vindicated, because I was like, man, this dude's washed. There's no way that the Falcons, with the with having Calvin Ridley and having Kyle Pitts coming in, there's no way they would get rid of him if he wasn't like either washed or not worth the money.
Right, and I think at this point he's definitely proved he's not worth the price tag.
Yeah, so. Good for him for getting a little bag before assumedly retiring soon.
Yeah, good. And look at AJ Green over there making plays.
Hey, yeah,
in Arizona,
you never know.
While Julio Jones sucks and keeps getting hurt. Marquise Brown returned to practice on Wednesday. It's a good sign, but we don't know how much of a participant he was. We don't know if he was limited. We don't know if he was a full practice. He does have that lingering hip injury, and we don't know if his illness is lingering, just like because I'm pretty sure he had the same thing as Lamar last week. So
yeah. I don't know. We don't know exactly what the deal is with them, but I mean, he returned to practice. They both returned to practice. That's a good sign.
He'll play.
Really
I think they both play.
Just pay attention to Friday. Pay attention to Friday's injury report. If either of them are on Friday, I would say have a contingency plan, have a backup. But
yeah, I kind of like him not playing because I like watching Sterling fall in the standings. To be honest with you, because he has a great team. That's the thing. I don't want to see him in the playoffs.
Dude.
So.
I don't know. I did not think his team was going to do as great as it has done.
Just due to his first round pick of Mahomes, I thought that was just a bad pick.
Me too.
He made great picks throughout the rest of the draft, at least with how they played this year. Jarvis Landry did not practice on Wednesday. He aggravated that knee injury during week 11, in and out of the second half during the game. Stefanski's unsure of how significant the injury is, but we'll probably know more details tomorrow. So if you feel like you need to start Jarvis Landry, just keep an eye on that.
I do not.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I don't care. Don't care about Jarvis Landry. Only one tight end in the injury report, other than obviously Ricky Seals-Jones Jr.
Ricky Seals-Jones Jr.
Logan
That's got to be so annoying. That has got to be so annoying.
That would make me turn off the podcast. To be completely honest, I wouldn't. Listen.
I'm glad we get like a half hour in before we do this.
Yeah, you're like, oh, they're not going to do it, and then
we've never done it. Yeah, we've never done it. At least like 5. Like if I put this podcast on and that was done in the first 5 minutes, I'd be like, well, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm gonna unsubscribe and unfollow everywhere. Cool. Logan Thomas, hamstring injury. He's been out for many weeks. He can return to practice this week. They can activate him during the 21-day window, which started on Monday. No guarantee he plays. Ricky Seals-Jones Jr. is also out with that hip injury. John Bates, Jake. John Bates is their tight end. Do you think we can take this guy in a fight? Let's look him up.
No, he's a tight end, dude. I don't know if you know this about tight ends, but they're very large.
He kind of looks like he works at an ice cream parlor.
Yeah, the dude's 6'6" and 260 pounds.
All right, yeah, he'd probably kill me. Cool.
Yes. He would, absolutely. I want you to know there's no question about him. I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on your skill set and the skill set of somebody that size.
I used to be pretty athletic, man. I think back in the day, I'd at least be able to elude John Bates.
Look, I'm not even trying to hurt your feelings here, John. I'm just being real with you. Like, this isn't made to be mean. I think he would kick my fucking ass. He's an NFL caliber tight end.
I guess. I just don't like his haircut. Which I say that about a lot of NFL guys.
I didn't even see a picture of him, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh, you just went by his height and weight, not by his
just
faded mustache and lack of a goatee.
Oh yeah,
and weird smile.
I still don't care. This guy could have looked like anything, and I would have said he could still kick your ass. So
I still feel like he could work at Giffords and sell ice cream for a living.
Dude, Saquon Barkley could work at Giffords. Leave him alone.
Okay, anybody could get a job at Giffords, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. Then why isn't insult John?
And not insulting him, I just think he looks like he could scoop ice cream. Like he's the guy you'd run into at the window.
He would be too big at the window.
You think so?
Yes.
Amari Cooper's not playing this week against the Raiders, so because COVID, and COVID is still a thing.
So if Lamb doesn't play, Michael Gallup is going to get double teamed hard, and Dalton Schultz is going to have like a 3-touchdown game.
That would make me so mad. Imagine if what's his name? Blake Jarwin ends up having like a 5-touchdown game instead.
I don't think that'll happen. They haven't been utilizing him nearly as much as Schultz.
Yeah, so maybe Amari Cooper can hang out with Mike White and Joe Flacco this week. They can be COVID bros.
They can all kiss.
Yeah. 3 ways.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Teams on bye this week, Jake. We got the Cardinals, so you got no Kyler, no Hopkins. They haven't played in 3 weeks anyway. No James Conner, Randall Moore, Christian Kirk, AJ Green, and Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz has been great, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has been really good. Yeah.
Just
maybe it was Philadelphia.
I think it was just he's not a fan of Eagles, but when it comes to Cardinals, much bigger fan when it comes to bird watching. Maybe they're easier to find than an eagle.
I'm going to let you sit in that one.
Kansas City's also on bye, so no Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or McCole Hardman in Logan's case.
Oh, man, big blow for Logan this week.
Damn, you can't start McCole Hardman?
You give away first for a guy like that, and you can't even start him?
I heard that Logan already bought his jersey.
Wow.
Yeah, he's that much of a McCole Hardman fan.
Yikes. Wait, is that, are you being for real right now?
No, that would be really stupid, and I would make fun of him for decades to come. All right, Jake, we are 51 minutes in. You ready to talk about the matchup rewind? Let's do the matchup rewind.
Matchup rewind.
Okay, Jake, this is where you shine. This is where you are many tiers above me and everyone else in fantasy football this week. How did you do?
Ooh, baby.
That was that introduction, by the way.
239 points. 239 points.
I'm so sorry,
insane.
Chandler.
That is insane. You know what? But at least it was such a runaway victory that there was never a shot, because it was the first game window on Sunday that Jonathan Taylor put up 50 plus points.
Right, you can tune out and go watch a movie. You can go,
like the week's over.
Golfing.
It's
you
done.
Don't even have to think about fantasy football the rest of the week. Yeah, you're right.
It's done. So yeah, so I started him and Justin Jefferson in 2 different leagues, which is amazing. Also,
that's fucking crazy. Yeah.
So it's been great.
This is in a keeper league, by the way.
Keeper league, dynasty league. I've got Jonathan Taylor, which is huge. I really believed in him right from the get go last year. Picked him. I got him in the 4th round last.
Oh.
I got him.
Okay.
Sorry, hiccup. I got him in the 4th round last year. Marlon Mack went out, and oh man, it has been just a ride since then.
I wonder if the same thing would have happened if Marlon didn't miss all of last season.
I don't know. I think probably not, because I think Marlon Mack is still a talent. Like Marlon Mack's still good.
Is good. He's good in Madden. I've used him in Madden, and he's great.
That's good. That's good to hear. Do you have any more Madden-based analysis?
No. But I did do a face of the franchise, and I was drafted to the Colts. So I had like Marlon Mack and Michael Pittman. So that was pretty fun. That makes me like Michael Pittman more. Ooh, Madden is on sale for Madden 22 is on sale for $22 on Black Friday. I'm going to get it. So if you want to start playing Madden with me.
No, I refuse to buy another Madden game.
But I don't have 21. I thought you
But
wanted to put Madden with me.
they're all so bad.
But it's only $22.
But it shows them I support what they're doing, and what they're doing is awful. They suck at making football games. I truly, if I could kick the fucking ass of whoever actually makes decisions on that game, I'd do it right now.
Probably John Madden. Is he dead?
I'd stop this podcast right now. I don't know. But John Madden absolutely is not the one. He's just sold his name to them. I'm certain of that. But
John Madden's alive. I just checked. He's 85 years old.
I know John Madden's alive. Of course I know John Madden's alive.
I wasn't sure because I hadn't seen him in the spotlight for a while. I thought he might be deceased, but he's not. Jake, so you're saying Jonathan Taylor did great for you. You destroyed Chandler's ass in Keeper, League of Record Dynasty.
Did I? Well, because not only did I start Jonathan Taylor, I started Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler,
we need to go through
and
this.
DeAndre Swift. Those are my running backs for the week. Top 5 options, all of them.
Yes.
They're all literally the 1, 2, and 5. And then I have Waller, who's a no-brainer start, tight end 3. Not crazy, but good. Cam Newton, Justin Jefferson, Deontay Johnson. Unreal last week.
Sorry, I was just counting how many... No. I was counting how many touchdowns you got as a total,
Yeah.
16 touchdowns.
16. Wow. That's unbelievable.
16 touchdowns.
That's unbelievable. I'll never have another better game, like another game.
You
like
only
this
started
fantasy.
8 players, not including
This doesn't
your
happen.
defense.
It just doesn't
16.
happen.
No, it doesn't. I was watching. So it's funny because like you obviously had Jonathan Taylor in the early window, Jefferson in the early window, and I was like, okay, Jake's had an amazing week. He's at like 190 points. Cool.
And then prime time rolls around.
Deontay Johnson and Austin Eckler play against each other Sunday Night Football and put up a combined total of 65 points.
Yeah.
It's just like...
I think I should just stop doing this podcast at this point. How
You
am I
won.
ever going to
This is
have
it.
something better to talk about?
You won't.
Yeah.
But
Nope.
what I would like to mention is the fact, okay, you won your work league. It's kind of like the lower tier of what we talk about on the podcast. I'm glad you won your work league. Are you in first place in that league?
Yes, I am.
Cool. Same here.
I am
I'm
now.
10-1, running away with it. Clinched my playoff spot. Good to go.
I don't have a, you know what's crazy? Don't have a playoff spot clinched yet in that league.
What's your record in that league?
8-3, but there's 3 of us that are 8-3.
Oh man.
And
Yeah,
I only
still
have
a
I have the
4-game
most
lead on
points.
everyone
I have
else.
the most points over Allie by 2 points. That's how I'm in
She's
first.
doing that good.
Dude, Allie's team's phenomenal. I mean,
Shit.
she's it's angling downwards a little bit because she lost Derrick Henry.
That sucks.
But she still has Joe Mixon, who, as soon as Derrick Henry started not playing, Joe Mixon went off. So
Right,
it's been
he's
fine
been
for her.
great.
Then she's got Pollard as her RB2, who's been, considering he's only getting like 40% of the workload, has been putting up kind of good numbers. It's good yards per carry. That's what he's putting up.
He's like a 9 to 10 point a week guy. I mean, since she lost,
It's not the
Henry
word.
and
It won't
Pollard's her
sink
3,
ya.
It's not horrible.
Right, it won't sink. And she's got Deebo Samuel, which has been huge for her, and Keenan Allen. So
We do have something to talk about with Deebo Samuel later. That's something that actually kind of annoys me. But you did lose in redraft, Jake, to
Ugh.
Patrick, who is...
Dude, I don't know what it is. Sometimes this is just how your season goes. Sometimes this is it. I didn't even do anything wrong last week. I guess I could have started Clyde Edwards-Helaire in my flex, but I mean,
the reason you lost is because Jalen Hurts is terrible at foot. Actually, no, I'm sorry. He had a great football week. They beat the Saints 40-29. He put up 3 rushing touchdowns.
yeah,
69
Jalen
yards.
Hurts really screwed me.
Why is
It
he-
was Jalen Hurts and Nick Chubb. It really, and Mike Evans I knew was going to get about what he was projected, but yeah, man. Unfortunately,
That's how it goes.
that's how it goes. I still wouldn't have won if I put Hilaire in my flex, so I had no shot. My roster straight up couldn't have won.
Yeah, in the next segment here, we will talk about kind of the statistics that have led Jake to this overall record. It's astonishing, and it really just has to do with the matchups you are dealt and the luck based on those matchups.
I went through and looked at them. We'll talk about it more in depth at some point, like you said, but it really comes down. I mean, almost every single week, I outscore more than half the league.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
Almost every single week, I've outscored more than half the league, and I just get a bad matchup, and then there's a couple that I'm to blame for, but I mean, good God.
But it's like,
you
start
can't
this guy,
expect
sit that guy. Like, it's small decisions that,
right.
like, sometimes
I sat
you're like,
Deontay
I lost
Johnson.
one game.
That's what screwed me. That was the
Sure.
week that I lost bad. Yeah.
All right. Anyways, yeah, in my keeper league, I went 3-1 this week in terms of my overall matchups, but I lost to Brad, 147 to 105. He had a good week against me. Yeah, and it sucks because I really wanted to beat Brad. He's 8-3. I am now 8-3 due to the loss. But basically, what lost me this week was David Montgomery not producing, Dak Prescott being terrible, and CeeDee Lamb getting hurt. So other than that, I had a very solid week.
I think the CeeDee Lamb getting hurt might coincide with the Dak Prescott thing.
Oh, yeah, very likely. And Amari Cooper was out as well. So that did not help Dak Prescott. He was missing his two favorite targets, and it's very possible he's missing them this coming week as well. Also, Brad had the New England defense on Thursday night. I know it seems like forever ago, but putting up 28 points against me, that was hard to overcome.
That is really hard to overcome.
I won in Dynasty, and I also won in Redraft, both of which were against Frank. Sorry, Frank. I beat him 130 to 115 in Dynasty, which it basically boiled down to Tom Brady and Chris Godwin putting up points. The first touchdown of the game was a Tom Brady touchdown to Chris Godwin. I only needed like 5 more points after that, so I was very comfortable, very happy to see that happen. And Redraft, dude, I'm making a run here. I'm only 1 game out of 6th and 5th. I beat Frank 134 to 84, and
nice.
You know, it's not impossible. Is basically what I'm saying. I am in contention, so I'm gonna keep trying. So I love to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I think you should lose everywhere.
I would. Well, yeah, that's fair. I hope you lose this week against Tyler and lose your chances to win anything in the Dynasty League this year.
You've already clinched a playoff spot. That's so mean.
It's impossible for you to have one single dude of the week. So who was your trio?
I mean, it's
dudes?
Jonathan Taylor, to be fair. It's the dude of the week is Jonathan Taylor. I mean, you can't. 37 points is a lot, but that'll happen. I feel like every week somebody puts up close to that. Whereas 53 points, that doesn't happen. So that was nuts. Yeah, and Austin Eckler, I mean, we can't discount that. 41.5 points from running back is nuts. It's insane. I blew them out of the water. I wish I could redistribute some of these points over the next couple of weeks to get more than one win, but at least it puts me at the very top for point total. That really has helped for standings. That really changes the game there. Yeah, unreal. There's really not much more to say about that other than you can't even plan something like that. There's nothing you can do.
There's
except
no
trust the process.
There's no planning. There's no just analyzing players. There's no way to predict somebody getting 32 carries for 185 yards and 4 touchdowns against a top 3 defense with the Bills.
No.
So
I'm really interested to see how the Bucs go this week for him because the Bucs are it. The Buck metaphorically stops with them.
The buck stops with the Bucks. Is that what you
said?
Like
that? Yeah,
I wasn't sure if that was intentional because that was great.
Yeah, of course it was. What do you mean? Come on.
Oh my bad. I should assume.
So they are the best rushing defense. So it'll be interesting to see. Like, I mean, is Jonathan Taylor just that good, or what is it? I mean,
I think he's that good.
That's what it seems like. He passes the eye test, dude. It's unbelievable watching that guy run.
So my dude of the week is going to be Joe Mixon. He compared to Jake, he's hardly a dude of the week.
I know any other week, 24.5 points is bananas from an RB. But
yeah, the main thing I want to focus on here, though, is volume. He got 30 attempts. 30.
That's
Jonathan
nuts.
Taylor got 32.
What about what is his total opportunities? How many targets you get?
Actually, nothing in the passing game. Nothing. But to be fair, like I'd have no idea. No, oh yeah, the Bengals destroyed the Raiders last week. So if it was a closer game, I would expect to see more in the passing game, but they really just demolished the Raiders last week. So it makes sense that he had this type of volume due to them just being ahead by like 2 touchdowns. Regardless, I mean, Joe Mixon has been, I'm sure, surprising to you as a non-Joe Mixon fan. You know what I mean? Like,
look, his bones are close to dust.
You want that to be true, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think it is.
I don't want it to be true.
You want yourself to be right.
Why haven't you gotten Samaje Perine off of me?
That's a good question. I don't want to.
You
start
really
Samaje
should before
Perine.
the end. I know you don't want to start Samaje Perine, but if Joe Mixon goes down, you sure are going to want to.
Well, I have Najee and also Cordero Patterson, who is a top 10 running back on the season. Don't forget that. And I also have Aaron Jones.
That's
and
disgusting. I hate that. I hate Cordero Patterson.
Yes. Jake, who's your dud of the week?
Tight end Hunter Henry helped me lose in my redraft league.
That has become
4.5 points.
Yeah,
not much to say about that. Nope, they didn't need him. They beat the fucking brakes off of. The defense beat the brakes off of the Falcons. Really, 3 picks from 3 different quarterbacks. Unreal.
That was crazy, dude. What is wrong? The Falcons have a way of building a narrative that is almost hard to imagine. Like,
it's unfathomable just how bad they are right now. I don't know. Like, even when I think about like Sam Darnold and the Jets, I guess maybe they are throwing the same amount of picks and stuff. It's just funny because it's 3 quarterbacks and we're used to Matt Ryan being good, but man,
he is no longer Matty Ice. He has been iced, if anything. Okay, and my dud of the week, we've already talked about him, but he is one of the main reasons I lost, and it's Dak Prescott. 216 yards, 2 interceptions, and a lost fumble. He only put up less than 9 points for me, so that's terrible. Terrible.
Man, you really had to say it like less than 9 rather than 8.8.
Is that worse?
8.8 is way 8.8 sounds way worse.
Yeah, 8.8 points. That's god awful for your quarterback.
That's horrifying.
Let alone honestly any fantasy asset. If you put up 8 points, it's like, damn, really? All right, Jake, let's talk some matchups.
Talking matchups.
All right, Jake. So you are facing none other than your significant other this week in the League of Records / Keeper League. What are you looking at in that matchup?
I'm looking at I need a win. I need to make sure I keep that win because I need to keep my first round bye away from you.
Yep, that is true. I hope you don't.
Yeah, well, I hate you.
Okay.
So Allie's got an Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams stack, which really that's brutal to play against.
However, Jalen Ramsey on Devontae Adams. We'll see. Devontae Adams is quite good at football, so it might not matter.
She's also starting Darnell Mooney. That, like we talked about, he could have a really big game. Terry McLaurin has been just getting obscene work. Like, I mean, he no matter how bad the team is, he's still getting 7, 8 targets. So any week he breaks off a big one for a touchdown, you're really happy. So that makes me a little bit nervous. Dalvin Cook, you know he's going to have a good game, even though it's against San Francisco, who's been a pretty middle-of-the-road defense this year. I still think he has a pretty good game. She is starting Nyheim Hines against Tampa Bay, which is super questionable to me.
Well, something to keep in mind is she has Kareem Hunt, who could play this week.
Dude, if I'm her, I'm starting Kareem Hunt over Nyheim Hines. Heartbeat.
Yeah.
No thought about it. Honestly, she's got Drake on her bench. I'd probably start Drake over Nyheim Hines in this matchup because not only do I think Taylor's been amazing and they just want to keep giving him the work because, dude, he has almost double the next person for red zone attempts. How nuts is that? He has like 60.
That's astonishing. And if I were her, I would be dropping Kenneth Gainwell and picking up anybody else. Your lineup is, we've talked about this week in and week out, but insane. So I think you win. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
I mean, I'm projected 154 right now.
It's astonishing. You have the Houston defense against the Jets. The Jets are horrible. Zach Wilson sucks. Deontay Johnson, Eckler, Taylor, Waller has been underwhelming for the draft capital you spent on him.
Unfortunately, yes, but he did also help me. He has also helped me win a few games, and to be able to lock a guy in that you know is going to be good every single week is fine.
Sure.
Plus, I got so good with my running backs that it doesn't. I don't know. It would be concerning if I didn't also have DeAndre Swift, Austin Eckler, and Jonathan Taylor.
Not to mention you have Justin Tucker, the best kicker in the league. I mean, when did you get
somebody
him?
dropped him, dude. Somebody dropped him. Got him on his bye. Yeah,
nice pickup.
I was like, duh.
I think it's the only thing I would say is Cam Newton. Miami's defense has been good. You're starting Cam Newton this week. I think it's possible in his only second start back since last season that Miami might be able to take over this game, in my opinion.
Disagree.
I think it's very possible.
I don't think they've been as good as you're thinking. I think the Ravens showed up to their doorstep thinking, well, we've kicked the shit out of them every single time we've been here, so it's going to be more of the same. And they didn't come to play. They were already injured, and they didn't come to play. And I think that really put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth for just how good they are, because they're not. I don't think they're that good. They are a good defense, but
right.
I mean, they're still 6th in points allowed to QBs.
Something we should mention here is Allie is 1 game out of playoff contention. If she does find a way to beat you this week, it's helpful. She if she loses, she's out.
It would be,
beats you, she could have a chance of making the playoffs, but there's 5 other teams that would need to lose a lot of games for her to win. So
yeah,
basically she has to win this week. She's 4-7, and the next best team, there's a couple teams 5-6, so she really does need the stub. For me, I'm playing Dylan. Dylan did not set his lineup last week. He lost, I think, to Tyler, but they were both bad teams, so it's okay. Didn't affect the grand scheme of things, but I did message Dylan, Jake. I messaged him. He said he was sorry. he said, hey, didn't mean to do that. I legit forgot about it. Haha.
That's good. We want people in our league of record that forget about setting their lineup.
Right.
That's a positive.
And I said, hey, I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving, but even though I'm playing you, make sure to set your lineup. But I said, feel free to try not hard. I still want to win. And he said, LOL, okay. So the thing is like, Dylan.
That sounds like collusion.
That's not collusion. That is just me being funny because I'm a funny person.
Yeah,
Logan may hate this part of the podcast.
They say that the funniest people have to tell people that they're funny.
Well, I'm an only child, so I have to stand up for myself.
So the attention always has to be on you, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
As of now, Dylan did set his lineup. He's got Carson Wentz, Jarvis Landry.
If there's anyone to ever be a candidate for having a set lineup and still not actually setting a lineup, it's Dylan.
Okay, that's mean. That's mean.
Like suddenly Saturday evening, all of his players are going to be out and he's going to do nothing.
I think it's definitely.
Look, I love Dylan as a person, but I swear to God, if he does not set a lineup one more time this season, I'm advocating we kick him.
No, he's staying. Dylan is an OG. You're not an OG, so I feel like you don't have a vote here.
Am I a champion? Are you a recent champion?
Okay, the word recent doesn't need to be mentioned here. You could just say, "Are you a champion?"
We could
both say,
"Are you
yeah, we're
the
champions."
number 1 seed? Are you the number 1 seed to go back to back for the first time ever?
I was the number 1 seed.
Not anymore, bitch.
Well, I think that's going to change. I do. Well, that won't change this week because of point total.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is I have an 80% chance of beating Dylan. If I lose to him, I will probably jump off a building. So that would be unfortunate.
Please, God.
He's got Brandon Bolden as RB2, and that is the 3rd running back on the Patriots offense. So I'm not
more
really...
like the pass down back. Am I right? 2 TDs incoming.
Okay, shut up. Jake, what are you looking at, a dynasty?
Ooh, this is a tight one in Dynasty. This one matters a lot. I am in 6th and Tyler is in 5th. We are playing each other. We are both 6-5. This matters a lot for the playoff race. If I can beat Tyler here, I've got a really good shot at being in the playoffs. I don't know what happens if I can't. So this one's really important. Tyler lost Kamara, which was huge for me.
Mm-hmm.
But he did make some trades to get basically the entire Baltimore Ravens starting lineup. So that's really going to hurt on Sunday because they are playing Cleveland and they're wearing black. And when they wear black, they beat the brakes off the other team. And I'm so nervous.
That's stupid. That's dumb.
What's dumb?
When they wear black, as if that has any sort of significance.
Dude, I swear to God. I swear to God, when they wear the all blacks, there's something's different, dude.
Okay.
And also Lamar's coming back. People are going to be hyped up.
I'm gonna start paying attention to that, but I can't. I'm sure he's just gonna start throwing up on the sideline because he's eating bad sushi before the game.
He's like, oh man, it's Black Jersey Day. I gotta go get my gas station shrimp Alfredo.
I need my Speedway or On the Run sushi. Can't wait to eat that. Lamar, what the fuck? You need to talk to Tom Brady's nutritionist. What is wrong with you? Jeez, man. God.
Yeah, we got to get Lamar on the Tom Brady plan. It's all about pliability.
TB12, man. If anyone can acquire those sort of assets, like start reading his books, listen to his podcast, like for fuck's sake, man. You're lucky he won last week. He's lucky that team won. Something important to mention here is whoever loses your matchup is in trouble because the 4 teams below you, teams that are in 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, are all 5 and 6, one game behind both you and Tyler, and none of them are playing each other this week. So that's actually very important. So whoever loses that matchup is in.
No, this is a huge matchup. There's no two ways to put this one. I need to win this one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Basically, if you lose, I'm pretty sure you're just done. I don't think it's a very low possibility.
I don't think I'm done. I think if I lose here, I have to really win out the rest of the season.
Sure.
To nab that 6th spot. Yeah. But luckily, most of my big name guys are young. I don't have a very old team. Like I don't know if you've looked recently, but it's good. It's really Kittle is my oldest, and he's 27, and he's a tight end. So
your team is great, and it was great from the start of the season. It's just you've had, just tough matchups. I mean, that happens, and you're still 6-5. That's a good record. It's just this league has just been competitive. 500. That's the thing.
Man, I love it. I love this league.
Yeah, very competitive. But sure, I am 9-2. I'm 9-2 in Dynasty. I'm going against your friend Ben, who's 5 and 6. He's right.
He's not my friend, right? I don't know him.
Oh, this is Logan's friend then.
Oh yeah. Okay, right.
Okay, I don't know. He's not my friend, so he's Logan's or your friend. I don't know. But he's 5 and 6. He is hoping to somehow leapfrog Tyler and Jake to somehow make it to the playoffs, but he needs to beat me. If he doesn't beat me this week, he's probably done. He has A.J. Brown on his team, so if he doesn't play, that's a problem. But either way, he's playing the Pats D, so that's already a problem for one of his best receivers. Tua has a tough matchup against Carolina, and he needs a big game from Jamar Chase or DK Metcalf. Otherwise, it's really not looking good for Benny the Jet Rodriguez. What a cute name. That's a good name.
Benny and the Jets. Benny. See, I wasn't going to do that one. That sounded like it hurt people.
Have you seen 27 Dresses with Katherine Heigl?
Seen 20. Not enough to know anything about it.
There's a scene in that movie when Katherine Heigl and James Marsden are on a bar singing Benny and the Jets. So
maybe you should save this one for your movie podcast.
No, I think Katherine Heigl deserves a mention, even though apparently she's horrible to work with. Okay, Jake, what are you looking at in redraft?
In redraft, I'm looking at getting my shit kicked in over and over again. No, redraft, I'm looking at not coming in dead last so I don't have to make a video.
Oh, yeah, this does matter. This
does unfortunately matter. So, dude, I mean, I've only scored 42 points less than the highest in the league.
I know. And that's astonishing. And we've talked about it week in and week out, but matchups do matter. It's the luck of the draw.
That's the high, dude. That's the number one scoring team. I have 241 more points than the first place team
scored against you. Right.
Oh yeah, scored against me. So which is often, if you look, you'll find a correlation between least amount of points scored against and who is at the top of the league. It is so very rare that the first player in the league is number one in both points scored and points scored against. That just doesn't happen.
No, unlikely. It really does come down to luck. I mean, in my work league, I am very much just, I've gotten lucky because I haven't really had like crazy weeks. Yes, I've scored the most points, but I have had very few points scored against me. So it is
that matters a lot.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the things here. You are facing the former champion of the league who had Alvin Kamara win him the championship last year with those 6 touchdowns, but
that's nuts. Good for Truman.
We like
what
Truman.
I come back to. Yeah, we do like Truman.
Yeah.
We'll answer a question from him later. But I've already won this league at least. So the nice thing is, at the end of the day, even if I come in dead last, no one can talk fucking shit. No one can say a goddamn thing because I've won this league, and very few other people have.
Dude, can you imagine? And this is the 3rd year of the league, by the way. So Jake.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, this is the current 3rd year. Yeah.
This is the 3rd year. So
Jake
it's me and Truman.
So it's actually 2 former champions going against each other. Let's think about it that way.
Yeah, but this is kind of like...
but it's
I don't know.
A sad matchup this year, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is very much like right after the Patriots lost Brady versus the Bucks,
Poor guy. But this week, I am going against Chris. He had the first overall pick in the draft this season. He had to eat the onion last year. I am actually one playoff game out of contention here. So I really, really need this win. I need Brianna and Ian to lose this week for it really to help me get into 6th place, which is that last playoff spot. Chris does have a really good team. I was just looking at basically just how he acquired his team, because I remembered he got McCaffrey, and I was looking at his lineup. He doesn't have McCaffrey. He traded him away in a big trade.
Oh, I did see that.
Ago.
Yeah.
Have you seen this trade, dude? So he acquired Devontae Adams, Joe Mixon, Miles Sanders, and Kyler, and sent Patrick Mahomes, DeAndre Swift, Odell, and CMC away.
I'd rather have Swift and CMC.
And Mahomes.
Yeah, and Mahomes, for sure. It's the better side of that. Miles Sanders sucks. Mixon's been really good recently, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, and something important to mention here is he also made a trade recently, or he tried to make a trade. No. He did make this trade. I'm sorry. He sent Myles Gaskin to TJ and got Deebo Samuel in return. A 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, jeez.
Who the fuck agreed to that?
Yeah.
That's a horrible trade.
For TJ.
I just, in the same league, I
don't know about this one. That kind of does bug me in that, like, it's not the end of the world, but there's been a few times where it's been like, really? You're like, we're not going to let a trade happen? I forgot the specifics of the one that I had. This was, I think, the year before you were in the league.
Okay.
Can't remember if you were in it or not. Actually, I think it was last year. And it was basically like, it was a fair trade. Basically, Sam asked the guy if he knew some information that he didn't know. And he was like, okay, well, we can't make that trade then. I was like, well, that's not really fair that I have to be responsible for whether or not this person's up on enough. Like,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's always, did both these people in their right mind come to an agreement on 2 players? It's approved.
Right.
That's it for me.
If you care enough about your team, you're going to do, especially in like a 1-for-1 trade, you're going to do enough research to know, okay, is this a good decision for me? The trade I'm referring to here is someone tried to do a trade, Ertz for Elijah Moore. This is when Ertz was a member of the Eagles. At the time, Elijah Moore hadn't really broken out quite yet, but it was vetoed. And that's the question is like, how does that not get approved, but Myles Gaskin for Deebo Samuel gets approved? That's where it's like,
yeah,
I don't know, especially when the commissioner's in control.
I just don't understand. Even at the time, because it wasn't my trade, I wasn't going to say anything, but
yeah,
that was a fair trade. Nothing about Elijah Moore for Ertz seemed like collusion, seemed unfair.
No,
seemed
I agree.
Anything. I did not understand that one. That seems a little bit like an overreach. I don't understand. I really didn't understand why. I just didn't have the time and effort to say anything
as
about
a 1 in like 6 team at the time. It probably wasn't really a concern.
Yeah, I was also like, whatever. I don't care. Whoever, yeah, because I can't win. It's not like, even if I win out, I still can't make the playoffs. So,
Jake, why don't we get into the TFD mailbox?
Fantasy Dudes Mailbox.
Yes, this is my favorite, dude. I love answering people's questions.
All right, we have some really good questions. Again, thank you everybody who's sending questions. This is Jake and I's favorite part of the podcast.
This is by far.
It's where we can really just dive in and just talk about other stuff fantasy related other than our matchups. I mean,
I like that. I like one of these.
We'll start with the first question here. This is actually one that I wrote in, but I feel like it's something that we should address. How do you deal with an absent commissioner? Let me speak from experience here. I've been talking in my work league, my commissioner, I've been asking him to change the playoff settings for 12 weeks now. He finally just did, but at the time it was weeks 16, 17, 18 for the playoffs. And as you know, playing a playoff
playing in the last,
matchup,
stupid.
It's so stupid. And I'm like, dude, just change it. It's not that hard, and it's just hard to get through to somebody if they clearly don't care as much as you. So,
yes.
How do you deal with a commissioner that doesn't seem to be adept to commissioning the league?
Okay, so a couple different things. If you're actively in the season and you need something to change and the commissioner is absentee, as in they don't care to make moves based on the feeling of the group, that's way different than like if they're literally just super busy and you getting a hold of them is hard, because that is fixable and that is understandable, especially as adults playing this game. But if they're just absentee, come together with the group and make sure you have a consensus on what the group wants and then present it and say, you have to do this. This is, we are all paying money to be a part of this and play this game. This is something that the vast majority of the group wants. Really come at it from a united front. Outside of that, in the off season, if you feel, well, our commissioner has been bad, we don't want to continue on with this, speak up. Start a vote, or if you feel comfortable, maybe you can speak to the commissioner personally and just say, hey, look, it kind of seems like this is a lot for you to handle in a very kind way. Do you want somebody else to take it over? Because it doesn't have to be like a mutiny. You can be like, hey, look, is this something you can handle? We really need somebody who can provide time and attention to this. It's not a personal thing ever. It's just, if you can't, then you shouldn't be in that position, unfortunately.
And I think more time needs to be allocated to commissioner duties during the offseason when you're kind of making the settings for the league, making sure everything is fair, especially if you have to help determine a way to decide keepers or draft picks. And if you're not capable of doing that, then give it to someone else who's better at it, who cares more or just knows what they're doing. There's nothing wrong with giving up those duties, even if you're the one that created the league.
I love fantasy football. Huge fan of fantasy football. I have hated being the commissioner for the work league. Do not care for it. Don't care for it. I just don't. And I'm not the commissioner in my other leagues. It's easier in that one because there's a lot less arguing. There's a lot more like just clear-cut rules. That's not a very wishy-washy league, at least. But I wouldn't want to be the commissioner for any of our other leagues.
I like being the commissioner a lot for our Dynasty League because everybody is so invested, which is everything that you and I could have asked for. It's great. In the other league, there's still a few people to weed through, and that's okay. But,
this next one, what the hell?
Yeah, this is from a college friend of mine. Should I drop Barkley? I'm assuming you mean Saquon?
No, nowhere, anywhere. Why would you drop Barkley? Like, I don't mean to be mean, but he is a supreme talent. Like, he's just, it is not about the Giants. The Giants suck, and they have sucked, and they will suck. But Barkley is incredible.
Jake,
he's just
Barkley
amazing.
Be the same without Jason Garrett?
God, if Barkley can't get better without Jason Garrett, I'll be shocked.
Man, you think Barkley or Jason Garrett was just kicking him in the ankles during his IR stint? He's like, I don't want you to do anything.
Runs into the medical room and gives him an Indian burn on his leg. Just starts running.
Jason Garrett, fuck you. No, I would hold on to Saquon Barkley. I know his first game back was against the Buccaneers, which is unfortunate for his production. He still got 6 receptions in that game. I mean, that's a good floor, even against a good defense. I would keep Barkley. He's a great guy.
Definitely.
Or try to get, if you want to get rid of him, trade him before the deadline.
Dude, I've been trying to get Barkley off Connor.
Yeah, this is a question from Truman from our redraft league, our former champion. He is asking, I'm assuming he has all these players on his team, and he's wondering what stack to start.
Correct.
It's either Stafford and Kupp or Wilson and Lockett.
I feel like some listeners right now are screaming because it's like,
obvious
to me, this one was an obvious. To me, this was an obvious one. An unreal amount of usage from Kupp. Bad game, good game. Kupp's getting 10 targets. So, clear cut to me. But because Truman's playing me this week, I would say that he should try to get Andy Dalton out there.
Is this your matchup he's talking about?
Yeah, maybe pair him.
That's awesome.
Jeez, who could he pair him with? Maybe Pollard. I think Pollard. That's a really good stack right there.
Right now, he actually has Kupp on the bench, so I would agree. I think you should keep Kupp on the bench, Stafford on the bench.
Kupp.
Maybe put Hilliard out there instead of Jonathan Taylor. That would be
maybe
good.
T.Y. Hilton. I think he should. T.Y. Hilton might be on the waivers. He's going to be a big play this week. Truman should get him out there.
AJ Green would be a good flex. He's on bye.
He should actually trade Stafford for Wentz if he could get that stack.
Yeah.
That would be really good this week. It's Stafford and Cup. That's clear cut. It's definitely Stafford and Cup. To kind of quote Truman, I will eat my shoes if it is not Stafford and Cup.
The only thing is, like, Wilson and Lockett on any given week, Lockett could have like 35 points, but it hasn't happened
You're
for
right,
a while.
but that's not. So, you just can't. Cup is the one. He's the guy. There's no. You should not overthink this one. This is not a time to be like a contrarian and think you know more than just going with what is working.
2021 fantasy football, you start Stafford and Cup, no question.
Yep, no questions.
This is from, I don't know who this is, Creative Thrower on Instagram said, when's Tyler going to be on the podcast? This probably would have been the week to have him on the podcast, and we failed.
I can come on next week and cry in front of our listeners after I've kicked the absolute piss and shit out of him.
All right, either way, I'm going to say we get Tyler on the podcast next week, so that's the answer to
We
your
should
question.
get Tyler on the podcast next week.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
That's what we'll do, okay? I promise you,
Okay.
Tyler, we'll make sure he's on the podcast.
Oh, wait, I'm going to regret that if he wins. That's going to suck.
I know, it's fun for me either way.
Shit.
It's great for me. This is, I'm assuming Spencer, but Those Movie Dudes, my other podcast. You can go check it out. Those Movie Dudes, at Those Movie Dudes on Facebook and Instagram. If you could draft any unretired player, who would it be and why?
Any retired player?
Yes. Is that what I said? I think that's what I said.
Yeah. Jerry Rice.
I would take LaDainian Tomlinson because running back and the amount of volume that man received. You think Jonathan Taylor has a lot of volume? You should have seen LaDainian Tomlinson in the early 2000s.
LaDainian's on track to take his records.
You mean Jonathan Taylor is?
I'm sorry, yes. Jonathan Taylor is on track to take LaDainian Tomlinson's records.
It could happen, but until I see somebody put up 30 touchdowns on a given season or more.
28.
But yeah, I would say LT and Jake's going with Jerry Rice. Obviously also a good choice.
Jerry Rice played forever, didn't he?
Imagine getting Jerry Rice in Dynasty or Randy Moss in Dynasty.
Randy Moss was my other thought. I was Jerry Rice or Randy Moss because I was like, both those dudes played forever and were good forever. Can I pick Tom
Brady? Like if Tom Brady is rookie season,
man. Can you imagine if you got rookie Tom Brady?
Oh, jeez, man.
Just to clarify, Jerry Rice played for 19 years.
Only 3 years less than Tom Brady. That's impressive.
Yeah, Jerry Rice started playing in 1985 and stopped in 2004.
That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah. And almost all of those were for San Francisco.
Yeah, he played a few years with the Raiders. Maybe it was 1 year. I don't know.
God. Listen to this. Listen from 86 to 96. 1,500 yards, 1,000, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500, 1,200, 1,200, 1,500, 1,500, 1,800, 1,200.
Oh my God!
And that was in 16 games too. One of his 1,000-yard was a 12 game.
Wow!
But he also had 22 touchdowns that year. So
that must have been the record that Randy Moss broke then, because Jerry Rice had that record and then Moss broke it.
Can you imagine that there's a time in fantasy football where you could have had Jerry Rice and Randy Moss on the same team?
All right, Jake, let's go ahead and talk about some survival football.
Survival football.
Are you sure you want to do that to yourself?
Not really, but it's part of the show, and it's here to stay. So, Jake, you picked the Patriots last week, who ended up winning 25-0 against the Falcons. So that was a good choice.
Pretty good. That's a pretty good pick, right?
And like you would think that you picked the Titans, which at the time is the best team in the AFC, going against arguably the worst team in the AFC as the Houston Texans.
That's unreal, John. I cannot believe that this one failed.
You would
It's like they knew you picked this. It's like they knew you picked it.
That's what I felt when I was watching the game. I'm like, as Ryan Tannehill throws 4 interceptions and loses 2 fumbles, you would think that they heard me, listened to the podcast in the locker room before the game, and then went out and laid an egg.
They're like, all right, guys, Jonathan's really counting on us today. Let's go out there and let's disappoint him.
They really want you to throw water in my face. Like, that's what they're banking on.
Oh, man, I'm going to throw water. Yeah, but you've got a couple stored up.
I do.
I don't know if you're keeping track of them, but
I forgot. But, I mean, to be fair, let's just say I throw 2 in your face, you throw 2 in mine. It's probably even at this point.
So we're just meeting up to throw water at each other.
Right. I'll buy
Just have
Super
water
Soaker.
balloon
You
fight.
can get an ice bucket and just toss it on my head, whatever you want to do.
Okay. Yeah, this just sounds like a good day.
That sounds
I'm
like fun.
excited
Can
for
we at
this.
least do it in the summertime?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
of course.
So, Jake, I think this week, have you picked any of the teams playing on Thanksgiving yet?
No, you both want to pick a Thanksgiving game?
I think we should have to pick a Thanksgiving game. Just because it's Thanksgiving, we pick one of the 3 Thanksgiving games.
So either Raiders or Cowboys, Bills or the Saints, the Bears and the Lions. What a god-awful matchup that last one sounds like.
Yeah, I've picked the Raiders. I've picked the Bills, but I can pick any of the other teams, I think, here. At this point,
I can't.
Jesus.
My problem is I want to pick the Bills.
I want to pick the Lions.
Really? I want to pick the Bears in that matchup, actually.
Oh, man.
Let's go Bears and Lions. You take the Lions, I'll take the Bears.
Dude, but Jared Goff isn't even going to start the game.
Dude, you just said you want the Lions. That's why I'm just going off of you.
All right, I'll take the Lions on Thanksgiving. They're going to get the first
Okay.
win of the season. I'm an idiot. This is stupid.
Oh, God, that.
I'm
Lions. There's something very poetic about you typing in Lions on that right there.
I'll take the Lions, and you're taking the Bears. Okay. And either way,
That'll add a little spice.
I feel like a
spice to our
loser either
Thursday
way.
afternoon.
I suck. Okay.
I mean, you're 4-7. I'm 8-2. And
It's
1.
over. Okay. Well, that's the longest podcast yet. If you've stuck with us this long, I very much appreciate you listening. I hope you have an incredible Thanksgiving. If you haven't already, follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Those Fantasy Dudes. ThoseFantasyDudesPodcast.com is the website, and you can check us out on Twitter at FantasyDudesPod. Yeah, good luck in those Week 12 matchups. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm a big dumb idiot. Oh, Jake, you silly goose. Or silly turkey. Have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Good luck in your Week 12 matchups.
Thanks for tuning in to Those Fantasy Dudes podcast. Make sure to tune in next week and follow us at Those Fantasy Dudes on Instagram.